Okay, let's try this again. Good evening, everybody. It is, by the way, this is Bob. It's been a while since I did a video, but this is kind of an important day in my day for me, and so I felt the need to post a video. Today is Tuesday, November the 22nd. There goes the dog into his kennel. Today is Tuesday, November the 22nd, 2017. I'm coming at you from St. Paul, Minnesota. And as many of you may know, I have a pretty severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder, which has driven me to try to kill myself on 4 separate occasions. Tomorrow morning will be the 14th, I want to say, anniversary of my last major suicide attempt. I've had a couple of bad scares. I've had a couple of close calls where I really came close to trying again since then. Most recently, just about 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But tomorrow morning, Wednesday, November the 23rd, will be the anniversary of the last time I actively tried to kill myself. Now, a little bit of background on this. I was working in retail, and thank goodness I got out of that because I'd probably be dead by now if I hadn't. But I was working in retail, and retail is not a healthy professional environment for anyone with PTSD. You're dealing with a lot of triggers in that industry. You're dealing with a lot of things that are going to set you off, and it's really not the place for somebody who has this condition to be trying to earn a living. Trust me, I wish I had caught that message and had it stick a decade ago. There goes the cat. And at the time I was working at this place, I'm not going to name names. They are no longer in business, but the stress of the disease drove me to make some bad choices. The boss, the district manager, found out that I had PTSD, and he had some very serious concerns. We had a few exchanges about it, and he made it very clear that he did not like having, quote, a psycho working for him. And so, and the thing is this was not the first time that my mental illness had interfered with my professional life. Holding down a job is very, very difficult when you have this disease, because everything's very, very difficult when you have this disease, particularly if it's in a very prominent state, because you're in an environment that is pushing all of your triggers, like retail will, or at least did for me. And so it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I go to work. I open up the store. I get ready to open up the store. I realize I have to use the restroom. I go to use the restroom. I come back, and there's my boss and a fellow employee, and they proceed to inform me that my services are no longer required. And the problem with this is that this was a long way from the last job that from the first job that I had lost within the last couple of years, and I had been in a very high symptomatic near crisis state for quite some time. It was so bad that I locked my pistol case and handed the only existing key to a friend of mine and said, under no circumstances are you to give this back to me until we mutually agree that it is safe for me to have access to a gun. I was that worried. I should have checked myself into the hospital realistically. And it was just one thing too many. I felt my stomach just drop out from underneath me. And the biggest thing that hit me was I can't bear to face my wife. I was married to my now ex-wife, and at the time, I deeply, deeply loved her, and all I wanted was to be well thought of by her. Check out the cat. There's the dog. Hello, the dog. Sorry, I have pets. It's distracting. And all I wanted was to be well thought of by her. And I knew that when she came home and she found out that I'd been fired again, she would respond with that long-suffering patience and, oh, shit, what are we going to do? And particularly, like, right on the cusp of the holidays. And it was just too much for me. And I made up my mind right on the spot I was done. I was leaving the party. I was going to kill myself. And there was a number of things that drove it. Yes, part of it is being fired was just that final straw. And part of it is I simply didn't have the guts to face my wife. I didn't have the personal courage to face my spouse, my then spouse, and say, hey, honey, guess what I lost another one of? And while I don't consider suicide necessarily to be a cowardly choice, I do believe it's a selfish choice in most cases. In this case, there was a measure of fear. Speaking of wives, that was my current wife, and thank the gods for her. But in this particular instance, yeah, I simply lacked the personal courage to face my then spouse with this news. So I went home. I changed out of my work clothes. I got together all the sleeping pills in the house, 26 of them to be precise. I counted, found a bottle of whiskey, and I took 26 sleeping pills with as much whiskey as I could pour down my throat. Excuse me. Laid down on the couch, waited to die. This was not a cry for help. This was not, I'm making a dramatic play. This was, I want to die. Honestly, before I did that, I looked around the house for something to crack the lock on the pistol case. Because if I could have gotten at that gun, I would have put that thing in my mouth, started a 9mm, blown the back of my head off. And I'm sorry for the graphic imagery, folks, but that's where I was at. I wanted to leave the party. Instead, pills and alcohol, laid down on the couch. My little dog at the time, cute little Pekingese named Gizmo, she's long since passed, unfortunately. She laid down on my chest. And I drifted off, and somewhere in there, I'll go to my grave believing that I heard a voice as real as you're hearing mine right now. And you can make all the jokes about crazy people hearing voices. I don't give a care. Told me, get your ass up. Stick a finger down your throat, vomit up the pills, call 911, get help. It's not your time. Stick around. And so I did. I got up. I wasn't able to make myself vomit, but I did call 911. I said, yeah, hi, my name is Bob Wagner. I've just tried to kill myself. I need an ambulance. I've taken 26 sleeping pills and an indeterminate amount of alcohol. Please send help. And they did. And that is a miserable experience. They loaded me into an ambulance. They took me to the hospital. They put me in restraints on a gurney. I passed out. When I came back around, there was a very nice lady nurse standing over me with a solo cup, those red plastic solo party cups. There goes the cat again. Of this black, sludgy, nasty substance, which to this day I can remember the taste. It's called activated charcoal. It's what they give you when you've been poisoned or when you try to poison yourself. And what this stuff is, it is thick and cold and gritty and vile tasting. And if you want to have an inkling of what it tastes like, it's literally charcoal. Lick a charcoal briquette. Now imagine having to drink a full-sized red solo cup full of a viscous, technically liquid version of that. Okay? Frankly, it's kind of like, excuse me, just the memory is enough to trip my gag reflex. It's kind of like somebody, I'm sorry. It's like somebody put several charcoal briquettes into a blender with a quantity of somebody else's phlegm, blended it until it was a kind of gritty texture, put it in the fridge, chilled it, put it in a cup, and said, hi there, you can drink this, or Lars and Guntor, the mobile man mountains, will assist you in drinking it. And Lars and Guntor were right there. I don't know if that was their actual names, but these cats had had arms as big as my legs. And I choked that stuff down, and the operative word was choked. I managed to get it all down. It tasted absolutely revolting. I have eaten some nasty things in my time. You saw my reaction. This is almost 15 years ago, and I know. And then they went and they walked me with the assistance of a police officer. There's 2 cops, one fore, one back, Lars and Guntor on either side. And they put me in this room in the secured psych facility. And they actually have a little sign over in the hospital, secure wing. Might as well say, all hope abandon ye who enter here. And they take your laces, they take your belt, they take anything you can use to hurt yourself with, and they put you in a little 6x6 room with cinder block walls and a bed and a camera, and they watch your ass. And then they called my wife and my in-laws and my therapist, and I got lucky. I should have been locked up for 72 hours. Instead, my therapist and my father-in-law at the time convinced them to let me out. I was to be under close familial supervision. Under no circumstances during the next 72 hours was I to be entirely alone. Like, I mean, they had to agree to escort me to the bathroom and stand outside the bathroom. And that was my life for the next 72 hours. This was the day before Thanksgiving. I ruined my family's holiday. I took a shit on my family's Thanksgiving. And that drive up to Cumberland, Wisconsin, where my in-laws were living, was the longest drive of my goddamn life. Because what do you say to somebody who just tried to kill themselves? What do you say to the people that love you after you've done that? Hi there, sorry there was nothing good on TV. I thought I'd give it a go. My family at the time was very understanding. They were very patient with me. They were very loving. They were very supportive. I know it friggin' wrecked my wife. I know it hurt the hell out of everybody who was aware of what was going on. And to this day, that is one of the things that I most regret. I regret a lot of stuff about my first marriage, but that's way up at the top of the list. And so every year I do this video, I try to do a message like this to tell people, don't do it. Okay? I get it. It hurts. It's hard. It's a struggle. Every fucking day is a struggle. And I'm not going to tell you it gets easier, because, man, it fucking don't. Okay? My brain tried to murder me 3 times today, and I'm in a good place right now. Well, this time of year is also always understandably very hard, but yeah, no. Every day is a struggle. Every day. But don't do it. I'm not going to toss out any platitudes. I'm just going to say don't do it. Okay? I understand the pain. I understand how exhausted you can get. I understand how much it hurts. I can understand screaming, man, I can't take one more fucking minute of this. Don't do it. Do not kill yourself. Okay? Don't hurt yourself. Don't cut on yourself. Don't punch yourself. Don't self-harm, but especially don't kill yourself. Okay? If you feel you're having these urges and you don't have a primary mental health caregiver, call this number right here. Can you see that? 1-800-273-8255. That is the National Suicide Prevention number. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Compassionate, caring people are willing to listen to you and talk to you because they don't want you to die. I don't want you to die. I don't know. I may not have even met you. I don't want you to die. Stick around, man. Please, for the love of whatever you believe in, don't fucking do it, okay? It's a one-way trip, baby. And yeah, it's hard and it's scary and it sucks to live with mental illness. And anybody who says, oh, it's still get better, fuck you. All right? Every day is hard. Every day hurts. Keep in the fight. And, you know, do what you have to do to stay alive, man. Get out of the house, okay? Go to a coffee shop. Go to the mall. You know, friggin' go out in public. Be around people. You're less likely to hurt yourself in a big crowd, okay? It's not how we're wired. Suicide is a very private thing, all right? You're not as likely to self-harm at the food court or at the Starbucks or at the Caribou or hell in the comic book section of Barnes & Noble as you are alone, isolated in your living room or your bedroom. And that's the other thing, is it enhances that sense of isolation, that I'm all alone if you're at home all by yourself. Because you're doing this because you're in so much pain and you feel like you're completely alone in this fight. And there's nobody else out there. You're the only human being in the world, and the entire world is pain. So, you're going to stay home by yourself in your bedroom or your living room, and you're going to enhance that sense of isolation. That is precisely like pouring gasoline on a kitchen fire. Okay? Don't do it. Get out in public. Go somewhere where you are less likely to hurt yourself. And for the love of the gods, call somebody. Everybody's got a cell phone, man. I hate technology. I have a cell phone. Work your call list. Call every fucking person on that call list. And if every single person does not answer, then you call this number. 1-800-273-8255. And you get the help that you need, okay? Stick around. Because that shit's permanent, baby. God, this is going on 16 minutes. That's the core message here. Before I sign off, I do want to take a little assessment of my life. Because, yeah, objectively, and I'm going to admit, I said at the start of this video, I had a pretty bad suicide scare about 4 or 5 months ago. And this time I would have succeeded. I would have. But I got lucky. And I want to express my gratitude and my thanks. I want to take assessment of, that's the other thing I want to do with this video. I want to take assessment of the good things in my life. I am very blessed and very humbled and very privileged to have a big circle of friends and family of choice. I am on my second marriage. I'm going on my second anniversary to an amazing, beautiful, entirely wonderful woman who is smiling at me from just off camera. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, please. Humor me, okay? This is important. This right here is my beautiful wife. For those of you who don't know, this is Robia. She's my rock. She is a big part of the reason why I'm able to cope as well as I am. Sorry, I get a little bit teary. She's my best friend. She's my soulmate. She is my love.
Love you.
Love you too. She's also a hell of a cook.
Which I need to start
Yeah,
doing.
she needs to start dinner. I have some incredible friends. My friend Shani Fairbanks, my friend Vincent Sharma. I'm just naming those two because they're like at the top of the, they're just at the top of my mind. My brother Dave Pennington, who has saved my life and talked me out of it talked me out of ending it a couple of times. He's helped me out a lot. I have a girlfriend as well. The boss knows about her. We're polyamorous. But I also have a very beautiful girlfriend. This amazing, ravishing, smart, funny young lady who just is model hot and for some reason likes my ugly ass. I can't name her. I can't identify her because her blood relations don't know she's poly and it would cause a lot of drama. But the last time I came close, she was there for me. And she's been there for me a lot. And she also brings significant joy to my life. And if I didn't name you by name, that doesn't mean I don't appreciate the contribution you make to my life. It just means that there's so many of you. And that's one of the things you want to do, is you want to take assessment of the objective good things in your life, your friends, your family. You may think you're all alone, but if you take a look, you're going to discover you're not. In my particular case, I'm also blessed to have a really great job. I got out of retail. I made a healthy choice, and that's the other thing, is our environment really can make the disease better or worse. For fuck's sake, if you are mentally ill and you have PTSD or anxiety issues, avoid retail. It's poison, okay? There are people who can have a beautiful, wonderful, long, rich career in retail. People like us, no, you're killing yourself. It took me 30 years to realize this. I had multiple heart attacks at my last job. I was actively thinking about taking my own life again. I came so fucking close, it scares me. Ro, that pretty lady that you just saw, She said flat out, and when I say said, I mean she broke down sobbing in tears at a friend's house. I went over to visit, and she's like, I'm going to be a widow, but I'm going to be a widow before I'm 50. She's 46 years old. If there's any way you can change your environment, do it. If you are in a hurtful, painful set of circumstances, be it personal or professional, and you find yourself constantly in a symptomatic state, that is a sign that you are in a toxic place and you need to get the hell out. In my case, I was very fortunate, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I was able to do so, and it made a huge difference. It may not cure things. I still have episodes I've had bad episodes at work, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was in retail. So I'm very grateful for my job as well. I'm very grateful for the little fur balls that you have seen running around, Mickey and Riley, my cat and my dog. And that's Mickey right there in the background. And they make their contribution too. And that's the biggest thing, man. Assess your life. If you get into a place where you want to hurt yourself, don't hurt yourself. If you get into a place where you want to kill yourself, don't kill yourself. Yeah, I get it. It's dark, it's nasty, it's scary. There's a lot of bad shit. Look for the good. Look around. In my case, I got a beautiful wife, I got a hot girlfriend, I got that dog in the background. He's an imbecile, but he's a charmer and he's my friend. He's an objective good in my life. The cat you've seen running around. Psycho little murder fluff. He did this to me. Okay, that's his way of saying I love you, Dad. But he's a little lover, and he's my buddy, and he's an objectively good thing in my life. And this is going on 22 minutes now. I'm rambling. There's no way to be tight with this. So I'm just going to make this simple. I am very grateful that I am still alive. I am very grateful to the people who have helped me stay alive. Oh, and there's other person I want to thank by name, Angie Guasden at Casperson Family Therapy Center in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. She has been my therapist. She was my therapist on the day that I tried to kill myself, and she saved my life. She helped me save my life. She's given me a lot of coping skills. If you live in the Twin Cities metro and you need help, and for the love of God, please get help. If you are sick, please get help. You wouldn't, not go to the doctor if you had cancer. Same deal. If you can get to the Casperson Family Therapy Center, I cannot say enough good about the men and women who work there. Angie is far and away the best in her profession in the state, and her colleagues that I've met and talked to are also solid, caring, compassionate people, and if they can't help you, they sure as hell will help you find somebody who can. And that's it. Have a good holiday. Be safe. Be healthy. Be aware of the fact that there are people who want you to stick around. And once again, if you feel compelled to hurt yourself, start working your call list on your phone. And if nobody answers, right there, 1-800-273-8255. Have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be well. Be here for the coming year. Take care now.